happened there? Yep, definitely did. Well, hopefully it's actually... Yeah, okay. I think we're back. I'm not sure yet. Okay. Technical difficulties, a stream that has been for a very long time. Okay, so what else do we see happening in this game? Not much so far, not much. We see that Miguelius chooses to go for the alehouse. The alehouse allows you to get the meeple advantage as long as it is in your village, because sorry, because you get to keep all of the meeples used on the buildings in your village. The meeples used on the buildings in the central row go to those to the player who wins the bet, and you may also use buildings in the opponent's village. However, that means that the opponent will take the meeples, so you are giving them an advantage in the future round. So there are a lot of things to consider here. And because he feels comfortable, I think he understands that this 2 meeple bet has made the meeple pretty unable to actually contest his bet on the alehouse, so he just goes straight up and he redraws a meeple. He places a blue here and draws a random one from the bag. Alright. So, what was he saying? I got distracted again. Sorry. So yeah, he redrawn 1 meeple, and if he wins this bet, he will get to take his meeple back, so he's going to gain an advantage on his opponent. This is a little bit like card games, with the concept of card advantage. Here you have meeple advantage, so the more meeples you have, the longer you can keep going in each given round, and the more you can gain in each given round. So having more meeples than your opponent is very important. Not to mention that you also can more easily outbid your opponent on the tiles you really want. So that is also something to consider. So we can see a lot of bets being made. It's really not surprising. I think Miguelius made a very smart decision by using that building right away, because now if his opponent wants to use this building, he can, but he will have to pay 2 meeples, and those meeples will likely go to Miguelius, so he probably won't do that. So he's ensuring that he will have more meeples than his opponent in the next round. He's also ensuring that he will take at least 1 production building, actually 2. He goes for wood and for stone here, while his opponent goes for any one resource and green meeples. Green meeples are special because green meeples are not in the bag. And that's basically it. Green meeples can only be acquired through buildings, so they're like super meeples. Whenever you bet with a green meeple or produce with a green meeple, you ensure that your opponent can only spend green meeples to do the same action as you just did. So they can, if you are the only one who has green meeples, you can use them to basically lock the opponent out of something you don't want them to have, or you really want to have yourself. So they're an extremely useful tool in this game. So I'm not surprised to see the meeple go for that. On the other hand, we see Miguel is just going for the straight up card advantage, meeple advantage, whatever you want to call it. So oh my god, we have disappearing meeples again. So nothing got fixed, unfortunately, so the meeples still have a tendency to just disappear. Which sucks, to say the least. And because in this game it is obviously very important to see where where the hell the bets are and what the bets are and all stuff like that. So, yeah. So we see the meeple pass kind of early, I guess. Just doesn't want to do anything else. Like, he can continue acting if his opponent chooses not to pass. So, he's not losing much by doing this, but if his opponent chooses to pass, you know, he needs to ensure that he made everything he wanted. He did everything he wanted to do, so that's the strategy behind passing in this game. It's not really that complicated, because it's not like something like Gwent, for example, where you really need to think when to pass. Here, you just like, you pass whenever you did everything you wanted to do for the round, and if you get outbeat, you can still add more stuff to your bets and ensure that you can react to your opponent's plays. Alright, what else we will see happening here? Miguelis just produced some wood. Whenever you produce from a building not in your village, it goes on the home tile of your village. Okay, and he just goes for production. I think what Meeple might be doing here is he's waiting for Miguelis to expend some of his meeples on production, because obviously he doesn't want to just increase the bets with no good reason, and then maybe go for a bet on something he really wants to get from him. That might be his strategy. I'm not sure, but we will see. Alright, what is going on here? Oh. Yeah, and then he chooses to just upgrade. Miguelis is going very steadily. He's not trying anything flashy. I feel like Meeple is trying something really flashy, and I think that might end kind of badly for him. So Miguelis just, you know, he produced everything he wanted. He upgraded his main building, which is going to come in really handy in the next round, because he will now have 2 movement points for his resources, which are still left on the main tile. So whenever he chooses to upgrade, for example, the ale house, he will be able to easily bring those resources back. Okay, and now we see the Meeple making his move. The Meeple is trying to outbet him on the ale house to steal that worker from him. But if you look at that, Miguelis was very smart about it, and he didn't spend any other blue meeples, so he might be able to outbet his opponent here. We'll see whether that happens or not, because to be honest, investing 3 meeples into this building is not that great, because you are losing meeple advantage, which you will then have to regain over several turns, and that is not really good, considering the game is only 4 turns long. You don't really want a building that will only pay for itself, like, towards the end of the entire affair, so we'll see what happens here. But as you can see, Miguelis chooses not to actually go for the building, and he just counts his losses. He lost 1 meeple, but his opponent had to invest 2 to take it, so not that big a deal, really. So now we're going into the end of the round, and we also see that actually Meeple betted for the first player tile, so he can choose the chip from which to take the workers and the skill tiles first, which is pretty nice for him. He's also the first player in the second round as well. Oh my god, keep grabbing stuff. Don't want to be grabbing stuff, really. Want to take 7 here. Want to take 6 here. And also add some skill tiles for good measure. Just helping players to get through the preparation phase faster. Okay. Oh my god. No. Want that there. Okay. Okay. All of this are winning bets, so all of those go back to the bag. And now we're going to be drawing some summer tiles. We keep drawing more and more. Oh my god, we have 2 ships. We have 3 ships. Oh my lord, this is way too many ships. So the ships are continuous effects. So as long as you have the ship, you have its effect. This ship allows you to use any worker of any color for production. So no matter what has already been placed on the tile, you can use any kind of worker for production. So that's pretty useful. This worker just gives you a free green worker every time you take something from a ship, so it is really powerful. It just gives you an additional worker, and not only it gives you an additional worker, it's also a green worker, which is very, very useful. So this one, I think it allows you to use movement without roads. We can check it. We have rules right here, so we can make sure that nothing gets messed up. Yep. So it basically just allows you to ignore roads for the purposes of moving stuff around your village, which is needed to upgrade. As we can see, the meeple kind of expanded his village a lot, actually. And he's doing a smart thing, because one of those ships, they will be distributed at the end of the game, and one of those ships, it actually gives you an opportunity to get points for each tile you have in a continuous loop of roads. And as we can see, the meeple here set up a continuous loop of roads with his tiles. Not only that allows him to easily transport the resources from the main tile to any other tile, so if he produces something out of the village, he can very easily transport it to the tile that actually needs it. But it also gives him potentially 4 points at the end of the game, because he has all of this. 5 points, sorry. 5 points at the end of the game, because he has all of this in a loop. So that is very useful for him. Now, what are the players going to be doing here? Because for now we see the meeple is just taking his time. He's thinking, because it is a very interesting draw. We have a lot of boats, and while the boats can definitely be useful by themselves, they don't do much really, because you need production, you need movement to ensure that you can upgrade everything in your village. So betting for boats is kind of a dubious bet, especially in this situation where, for example, you're Miguelius and you don't have too much production in your village right now. So you might want to consider something that actually gives you more resources. Like, for example, a hiring fair, which allows you to multiply your skill tiles, or the brewer, which allows you to trade skill tiles for meeples. Because your opponent has a lot of resource generation, not only in terms of like actual resources, we have stone, wood and iron, but they also have a way to produce green workers, which they're doing right now. And they also have a way to just multiply their workers through the ale house, which they will be likely looking to upgrade, because when it is upgraded, it is a lot better. Because you gain the meeple advantage immediately, not just at the end of the turn. However, we also see that the meeple is actually kind of low on resources himself. He is only 11 workers, while Miguelius is at 17, and he's just looking to keep that advantage up. He's training one of his skill tiles to get 2 workers, and no doubt that is going to be useful for him in the future. Now, what is Meeple going to do? Because we don't see any bets for now, and that is not surprising, because I don't think any of the players want these buildings too much, except for the farrier, because farrier is extremely useful. It allows you to get more transportation in your village, and just exactly as I said, the Meeple just uses his green worker straight away to get the farrier. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Miguelis didn't go for it, because it is such a valuable building. It gives you a lot of movement, it allows you to upgrade up to 2 buildings at once in one action, which is also extremely useful. However, we also see Miguelis betting for this boat, and this boat is extremely valuable, because you get green workers every time you collect, so over the course of the game it just represents 3 free green workers that you don't have to pay anything to do, you don't have to pay anything or build any buildings or do anything like that, so you just, bam, you have 3 green workers over the course of the game, very useful. What is the Meeple going to do? He's really low on Meeples, as I said. He has green ones, which is obviously useful for him, but now Miguelis is also going to have green ones, I expect. And because the good kind of dragged that stuff into his hand, he showed us that he has a yellow Meeple, so might be looking to contest this one. As we can see, he's just building up towards the further rounds. He's well, the green Meeple he's likely going to spend right now to get this farrier, but he's also building up with using his alehouse to ensure that he has more workers to produce stuff in the following turns. As for Miguelis, he looks to be in good shape, despite kind of losing the first round in terms of how many buildings he managed to acquire. He is looking good with 15 workers in his hand, still up to making some bets and up to producing some stuff, so I feel like he's in good shape, and if he manages to grab this ship, he's going to just snowball very, very quickly. Oh my god. Sorry. And that advantage is going to be very difficult for his opponent to beat, especially considering he will need to spend time rebuilding after he invested so many workers in the first round. So this is kind of the aspect of the strategy of this game, because you need to invest resources very carefully, very thoughtfully, otherwise you are going to just need to spend time to rebuild instead of actually gaining points to win the game, and that is not something you want to be doing, because obviously if your opponent did things smarter and he didn't have to have this slump in the middle of the game, as we can see Meeple now has, he's going to have an advantage on you. But we will see how it goes, because I've seen just the most surprising wins come out of this game, when I thought the player was just completely done for and he just pulled through somehow at the end, and that is really, really cool. So just noticed I should have this stuff open. Don't need to be looking at my clothes. That is not interesting for anybody. Okay, so back to the game. So what do we see happening here? We see just basically a lot of production happening. Both players are taking their time, not really rushing anything, because, you know, it's semifinals and okay, we see this building being used again, and did Miguelis use it? It's weird. Yeah, because you got the meeple. No, it was not Miguelis, it was in fact Meeple who used it, so he's just... Like I said, he's spending his time rebuilding instead of actually producing resources, and right now we see that Miguelis is going to take most of those tiles very, very easily, so... it just looks a little bit suspect to me. I think the meeple might be in some trouble right here. Sure, he will be able to secure the farrier, but to make the farrier useful, you actually need resources. And that is something the meeple is currently lacking. Which is not good for him, to say the least. He does, however, have a gold mine, and gold is the universal resource. It can be used instead of any other resource, and who knows, maybe that will let him pull through in this game. We'll also see Miguel is kind of doing a very interesting strategy here. As we can see, he bets yellow meeples on everything here. So that means that his opponent will likely be only be able to contest one bet of his. Oh my god, that was a very hard sentence to say. So yeah, we can see that his opponent will likely be only... Yeah, I'm not going to repeat that. You get my gist. His opponent won't be able to effectively bet against him, and he's going to continue this strategy, so that if his opponent wants to bet on any of these tiles, he will have to basically forfeit betting on any other tiles that his opponent has that he has marked the same color. So at best, the meeple can contest 2 tiles here, which is not great for him, and Miguelis is very likely to be able to actually beat him on some of his bets, so that will also be really, really good for him. And we can see that meeple is kind of in a predicament here. He's just going to move one thing to the workshop and upgrade it. Yeah, it makes sense. Because upgraded workshop actually produces a lot, and it's actually a very powerful building because it requires 2 of any resources to upgrade, which is quite easy to get, obviously, and when it's upgraded, it produces just everything, and it's very, very nice for you here. It's in this slide, it's well, I guess he needed to do that production to actually upgrade it, but I would say that it is a little bit surprising that he used it before he upgraded it, because if he uses it now, he's going to get all 3 resources, but instead his opponent is going to use it. Because I think he sees that he can just deny production. Like, it's not so important that you give him 2 meeples. You're very far ahead on meeples right now, and giving 2 of those to your opponent is it hurts a little bit. But he won't be able to use this production ability this turn, I don't think, unless he has 3 meeples. And if he does it, he won't be able to do anything else. So yeah, as you can see, he was probably looking to use it once more, but he was denied, and now he only gets 1 gold, and 1 gold, no matter how good gold is, it's still not as good as 3 resources. So that's actually, I think, a very, very nice play by Miguelis. He just sees this opportunity, banks on it, and as we can see, he's going to maintain his meeple advantage. It's a little bit of a risky play, because if somehow his opponent has 2 yellow meeples in your hand, you obviously cannot place 2 additional yellow meeples here, because you have spent so much of them, no way you have more in your hand. And if somehow the meeple has 2 yellow meeples in his hand, he can actually snatch it from Miguel. So I think it's a little bit dangerous, playing a little bit, you know, on the edge here, but I like it. I think Miguelis is actually very on point this game. He sees what his opponent is trying to do, and he shuts him down, and while he's giving resources to his opponent in the process, he's not giving him enough to really compensate for all this lost production and the ability to upgrade buildings, so And what's even more important, his opponent is going to be only winning one building this turn, and this building is going to be this farrier. And if he has no resources, this farrier is not going to be very good. So, yeah, I think that's a very, very nice move by Miguel right there. As you can see, the decision making in this game is very complex. You have to consider a lot of things when you do something. That's why players are really taking their time with their turns, because they need to consider what their opponent might be doing, what their opponent might be aiming for, and they also need to think of the ways how they might shut them down. So I think that is a really cool aspect of the game, and we can see that the Meeple is actually just using his opponent's city center to upgrade his gold mine. Yeah, he's upgrading his gold mine. It's a very smart move. He needs to get this production online, at least, because he was denied. He was denied big time this turn, and he will need to just jam on it next turn before his opponent can interfere with him. So he cannot spend time upgrading it in the next round. And Miguel is, I think, is feeling rather comfortable here. I think he's feeling in control of this game right now. And rightfully so, because as far as I'm concerned, he is in control of this game. Yeah, he's just producing some stuff. As you can see, he has a lot of resources, and this is very, very useful for him, because now all of the buildings he acquires, he will be able to upgrade at any time he wants, because he basically has everything he needs right here, right now. And his opponent will need to spend time producing, and so he will be able to mess with his production without really giving up anything, because he's in no hurry to upgrade those buildings. Unless he really wants to use one of them. Okay, we have ghost meeples again. So I think it is going to be fine. So let's see actually, because this is some cool plays, and oh my god, what is this man doing? Is he actually is he blazing it? Is it 420? What is happening? Why is all this wood on this tile? I don't know. I don't understand it. But he's most likely setting up for some winter tile he has. He's probably looking to just like put it somewhere over here, so that he could just move all of this wood. But for now it just looks kind of amusing. You have 6 wood on a tile that just you have nothing to do with wood on this tile. So okay, so the second round is over, and as I said, I think Miguel has just played it really well here. I think he shut down his opponent very hard. And considering his opponent already had to play catch-up, now he will have the meeples, but he won't have the resources to do much. Yeah, he actually just didn't pay attention to this, and I'm kind of surprised he didn't invest in meeple there. Maybe would have gone for it, but to be honest, in the first 2 rounds it's not very important, because both ships are kind of equal. But now one of the ships is going to be turning over, so we are going to see this tile being contested much more hotly, because as you can see, the ship now gives much less. So winning the bet for that tile is going to be extremely important in the future. So let me just help all the players out here. So we're at mid-game point right now. See the players just... Yeah, we see it. Just look at this. This is beautiful. And the meeple only gets the tile he actually can do much with. That is great for Miguel, in my opinion. Yeah. And we get our open tiles now. So these tiles are some production and some are already the point tiles, the late game tiles. But as we can see, the last game I cast, we had almost all of the tiles be late game tiles. So all they did basically were give players points. And now we can see that there is some production in here. There is some production in here. And we can see the second transportation building, which is extremely important. Look at this style. This is gorgeous for Miguelius right now. And I think the good, the bad, and the meeple is actually in a bit of a conundrum here. Trying to figure out how to build his village, what to do with all of this. So this is going to be very, very interesting right now. So what tiles do we have here? We have goldsmiths, which is... If it's upgraded, it gives you 7 points. This is almost the same, but it also gives you points if it's not upgraded. But it requires 3 resources of any kind. This requires 2 gold to upgrade. This is just another building which gives you meeple advantage, which at this point I think it's not going to be that relevant. Oh, what is going on? Oh, he used his opponent's building, right. So we're already going. We see that Miguelius just wastes no time. He just goes aggressive, uses his opponent's building, denies him access to those resources. Okay, and the final building we have here is the barn, and the barn is, it gives you resources based on the number of, or it gives you points based on the number of resources on this tile. So you have to actually move the resources to this tile for it to be of any use to you. And actually see, Miguel's gonna have a really nice setup for this one. Unless, of course, he wants to spend his wood on the wood-specific building in the winter. Which is very likely considering how he played up to this point. So we just see the good, the bad, and the meeple in the kind of a nasty spot right here. Because now Miguelius is just giving him meeples for free to ensure that he gets no production. Which is extremely, extremely smart, because as we can see, the meeple is fine on meeples at this point, so he doesn't really need more. And what he needs is to actually produce stuff, to move it around, and to actually use it in some useful ways. And he has none of those opportunities right now. And all that he has, actually, all of the opportunities he oh my god, all of the opportunities he actually have are being denied by Miguelius. So that's really cool to see. Yeah, that's actually, like, I gotta say, I will be really surprised if we at least don't see a close game. Let's be honest, like, both of these players are experts, so I'm not expecting that Miguelius will win that easily, but I think it was going to be very close one way or the other. Okay, and we see Miguelius actually nested into a green meeple, which is very smart. So now his opponent will have to give up 3 meeples to get 1 green one, and it's going to be nasty for him. It's actually really funny to see that Miguelius mostly just uses buildings in his opponent's village, just denying him that production. Oh my god. It's really cool. And we finally see the first bets being made here. Because this is what it is actually all about, but apparently this game is not about bets, it's about denying your opponent. Which is very, very funny, in my opinion. So yeah, we see Miguelius go for this Wainwright, because it's just obvious, because you really need that transportation in the final round to to actually get all of your stuff where it needs to go, because all of the buildings require either to be upgraded or they require to have certain resources on them to give you a lot of points, and in order to ensure that happens, you need some transportation. So if anybody's wondering, the way the transportation works in this game is whenever you use a building with transportation, you get an opportunity to transport that many pieces of resources. You basically get that number of movement points, and you can spend them in any way you want. So if you use this building, you can transport 4 resources once. So you can just like move the 4 of this wood over here, for example. Alternatively, you can move one piece of resource multiple times. So, for example, I can move this piece of resource like 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, if I want. Okay. And it also gives you an opportunity to upgrade a certain number of buildings, either 1 or 2. That's the maximum. So, for example, your main home tile, whatever it's called, only allows you to upgrade 1 building. This allows you to upgrade 2, so that's another point. You don't have to spend so many workers to get all the upgrades you need. That is also very useful. And another point about transportation, you also need to transport by roads. Unless you are McGillis in the station and you have this tile, which allows you to transport just across fields. Alright, so that's the basics of how transportation works in this game, and why it is important, because as I said, you only can spend resources for upgrades if those resources are on the tile you want to upgrade. So that's how it works. And certain buildings like Barn care about resources being on that tile at the end of the game. So transporting stuff is important, is the basic gist of it. Okay, drink some water. Okay. Interestingly enough, the meeple chooses to use this tile instead of this tile. He actually need all of the transportation? Ah, I guess he did, yeah, because he wanted to move 2, probably. Didn't quite follow there. Oh, and he also wants to upgrade 2 buildings at once. So, yeah. There we go. It's cool. Yeah, that was it. Oh. That was pretty efficient by the meeple there. And immediately we see Miguel is just snatching his freshly upgraded building to do some transporting of his own. So he can transport 5, and with the way his village is set up, he can basically upgrade just everything he wants. It's extremely nice for him. Like you see, Miguelis did a very smart setup, and he's just keeps denying his opponent an opportunity to use his own buildings efficiently. And of course, his opponent will get compensated in the future round, but in the current round, he's forced to commit more meeples than he wants to those sections, and that means that it is easier for Miguelis to win bets, and it is much more awkward for his opponent to play, because he has to actually also match the color of the Miguelis workers. So he plays the yellow here, and now his opponent will all be able to use this with yellow workers, and yeah, this is going to be problematic for him. Alright, so... Yeah, this is a meeple taking his time here, unsurprisingly, because he is in a bit of a pickle, so he will need to come up with something to actually deal with Migueles and his really aggressive play, which has shut him down so well. Well, he decides to go for the kind of an easy bet. Migueles spent a lot of his yellow workers, so he's unlikely to be able to properly contest the starter player tile, and it is very valuable right now because it represents just straight up 3 people advantage. That's very good for him. Alright. Let's see how Migueles responds. What's he going to do? Okay, he... Oh yeah, he just he keeps trading his tiles for workers. Oh no, he actually trades tiles for tiles. Oh yeah. Oh my god, he actually has like an engine to produce endless workers here, because he can make 3 tiles out of 1 and then just spend 1 of them to produce 3 workers and still have 2 tiles left. Yeah, that's really efficient for him. And the problem for the meeple here is he doesn't want more meeples. He already has all the meeples he wants. What he needs is resources, but all of his production buildings have been shut down by Migueles, and yeah, that's just some great stuff. Let's see. Well, what is going to be happening now? As Migueles places a bet for the barn, which is completely unsurprising because barn is just great for him. It will allow him to use all of his plentiful resources in a very productive way at the end of the game. And the meeple has to think his moves through really carefully, because he needs to somehow figure out a way to beat his opponent. Oh, and I think that might be... that is a little suspicious, like, suspect. Because the meeple just uses one of his greens to use his own building. Which is very weird to me. He wants to deny Migueles an opportunity to get that meeple, but I mean, when you're using a building like that, basically any meeple is good, because you can actually... Oh my god, what am I trying to say? Basically the opponent doesn't get an advantage by using this meeple. Why can I speak today? This is really bad for me. Like, I was more fluent when I was half asleep last time I cast. Oh my lord. So basically, this building, it gives you meeple. And if your opponent uses it with two meeples, he's giving you the maple advantage. So it's very weird to see that he went for green on that one, because I feel like any meeple would have worked like just as well on this. That's really strange to me. I'm not sure what he's looking to do with that play. Right, and let's see what Migueles decides to do with that. As you can probably tell, the final rounds tend to drag on quite a bit, because both players have a lot of meeples, they have a lot of options available to them as well, so we'll have to wait and see what is going to... What am I talking about? We're just going to have to wait a little bit longer, basically. And we can see that Migueles backs out of his bet on the Wainwright, because you know, he knows that he will be able to use that anyways, since it will be in his opponent's village, but he will be able to use it anyways, and he apparently is not going to go for the for this ship, for Keyflower itself, which gives you 1 point per point of transportation in your village, and he's apparently not looking to, you know, make use of it, since he's giving all of the transportation to his opponent, which might be a little bit of a suspect play, but I think Migueles is feeling quite comfortable right now. Probably thinks his opponent won't be able to use these tiles efficiently, and as a result he has no qualms about giving them up. Instead he's just stocking up on meeples, because he has spent quite a bit, he has given quite a bit to his opponent, and now he just wants to ensure that he will have enough to play in the final round. Not to mention that he also refills his hand, so he's able to continue playing the current round, and as we can see, he's stocking up on everything, stocking up on resources to use in the following turns. The following turn, more specifically, because there's only one turn left from this game. I feel like Migueles is playing just very, very sharply here, very on point. And the meeple is just forced to play catch-up constantly, which is not a good position to find yourself in, no matter what game you are playing. If this was Hearthstone, I would say that like Migueles has a good board, and the meeple just has to draw his removal or something to get ahead in this game, and unfortunately this game has no removal, so that is going to be very hard for him. And I think it was just a very interesting example of how strategic this game is, because Migueles just kind of purposely gave up the first round, but he did so in a very smart way. He made sure his opponent had to invest stuff into acquiring tiles, and after he made his opponent invest heavily, he just abused the building his opponent's bought to produce a bunch and deny his opponent production, since he didn't have the meeples to do that efficiently. And as you can see, right now he's in a very good spot as a result of those plays. And as we can see, the first player tile has been contested rather hotly here, because getting those three meeples is very, very advantageous. Not to mention getting the first bet on the winter buildings, which is very important, because usually have something you really yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do that. Can clarify. Peddler, peddler, peddler. Let me see. Peddler is... no, here we go. Yeah. All right. So the people is using Peddler here to get some green workers, and those are going to be very, very important in the final round, because as you can see, only 4 of them have been taken, and pretty sure like 2 of them, and yeah, 2 of them, no, like 1 of them is in the hands of Migueles. Or just 2, I'm not sure. Well, it will be 2 by the end of winter. So, well, the start of winter is what I mean. It's very nice for him. Yeah, and he's stocking up on them as well, because he sees that his opponent is going to try and use the green workers to take the important buildings in the final round, so he's going to deny him this opportunity. At least deny him the opportunity to do this easily. Which is very smart. Because in the final round, the players have 3 buildings each in their hands. And in the final round, they will decide which of those buildings they want to put in the center of the board for betting. And obviously, they will want to put some buildings they really want in the center of the board, and they obviously want to have means to be guaranteed or almost guaranteed to win those. And that is where green meeples come in really, really handy. So stocking up on them is a very smart move. And we see Miguel is just starting to contest his opponent's bet here on the goldsmith. And his opponent is not going to let it up, but opposite is not awful for Migueles one way or another. Yeah, and as we can see, this is also a very cool play, because he contested one meeple bet, placed 2 workers there, and once his opponent has outbid him, he can now move those 2 workers around, and he moves those 2 workers on the other bet, so that he can outbid his opponent there. And now he just forced his opponent to surrender a ton of meeples. And he still might be able to win this one, to win the well, maybe. I think he's not really interested in that, he's just producing some more wood. Probably has a building for winter, which will reward him heavily for having so much wood. Yeah, it's almost certainly he has, because he's just mashing that wood button, basically. Look at all of this wood. It's so much. Think about the forests. Migueles, you're destroying them. None will be left. And now I see him actually contest this Wainwright suddenly. I thought he was going to give it up, but apparently he doesn't, and one thing for sure, he will be able to make good use of all of the transportation, because he will need a lot of this for all this wood, I tell you. Something tells me we're in for a very long final round here. Because Miguelis is going to have so many meeples, it's ridiculous. And he milked his opponent very efficiently on these 2 tiles. I like his style here. And funnily enough, he's just... using green meeple here to ensure that his opponent cannot use his own transportation building. Or maybe he's just like out of meeples, because most of the stuff in his hand are actually like skill tiles, because he's grabbed a bunch of those from this building. And we can see he also went for an upgrade, an advance. It's pretty nice for him. Source of gold is always useful, because gold is, whenever it is worth 1 point at the end of the game. So unless you decide to count it for something else, you'll get 1 point at the end of the game. It's pretty cool, pretty sweet, pretty nice. Yeah. All right. So flip over this one. Winter is coming, and this winter is going to be quite a long one, because Miguelis just has a bunch of meeples, a bunch of resources, and his opponent really has very little. So it's going to be pretty hard for the meeple to catch up here, I feel. That's the way it was. Okay. It got flipped around for whatever reason. Okay, so now we see Miguelis with just a sprawl here. Just look at this. It's gorgeous. He places a barn here. Pretty sure he wants to make I'm pretty convinced that he wants to make sure that he can make the best use both of his winter buildings and his non-winter buildings. From the autumn buildings like barn as well. There we go. Yeah, here we go. Alright, oh, and we also shouldn't forget that he can actually move stuff across planes, so he won't need to actually set up as much for his final winter building. Can basically attach it to any side he wants and ensure efficient transportation anyways. But he has made this setup. Okay, so this nobody bet 4. This goes back into the bag. And now we wait. Now we wait for the players to decide what they want. Okay, now we're going to see what tiles are going to be up for the bet in the final round. The players decide that by themselves, so it is going to be interesting to see what they're going to try and do in this final round. And I just enjoy the opportunity to have some rest because it's a little bit hard. We can see that Miguelis has 32 workers. Are we just having 2 tiles? Really? Oh my god, we are having only 2 tiles. It is confirmed. So watermill is interesting. Watermill gives you 1 point for each of the resource of one kind on the anywhere on the board. Actually, not on the watermill, anywhere on the board. So obviously this is going to be great for Miguelis with all of his wood. This man has butchered the forests, and now he's going to enjoy the rewards of that if he's able to win the bet for this one. But this also looks good for Miguelis because it gives you just 3 points per 5 of any worker. So if Miguelis manages to grab that one, he can actually net a lot of points from that. And it is kind of mediocre for Meeple because he will only likely be able to get, like, I don't know, maybe like 6 to 9 points from that, which is significant, but not as good as it might be. Especially considering the investment you had to make into this. And we can see that Miguelis is just going to start by using his opponent's transportation and starting to move a bunch of stuff onto his barn right there. God, what the hell is going on with me? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What the hell is wrong with me? Okay, just a little bit of an interface issue. God, what the hell? Okay, we see the people investing into the first player tile, kind of surprisingly for me. He doesn't have much of a setup for the tile, really. Because that tile, if you win it in the final round, you get to put it into your village, and it gets you 1 point per adjacent tile. So you need kind of like a hook shape to make it the most efficient, and for now the meeple doesn't have that hook shape, and he might be oh my god, might be looking to complete it with one of these buildings. But obviously he will also need to actually win a lot of these buildings too. ensure that he gets the maximum efficiency out of that. He will also get to pick the ship first at the end of the game, and the one ship gives you 1 point per tile in the biggest loop in your village. And he actually, yeah, he has quite a big loop. Oh yeah, it's like it's 6 points for him. It's very nice for him. Oh no, it's not 6 points, it's just 5. But anyways, it's kind of nice for him. Can take 7 for transportation. And his opponent will actually get just 3 points for the loop, so maybe that's why he's going for that play. He'll actually be able to quite possibly get quite a bit of value out of that one meeple if his opponent chooses not to contest it. And we see Miguel is yet again just not caring and just mashing production from his opponent's village. He's going to try to get as much wood as possible, obviously. He will most likely bet on this. On this. This is should definitely be his priority. Because right now he actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points to gain from that building. And his opponent is also will not want to bet for it because he has nothing to gain by acquiring this building. So yeah, I think that is going pretty nicely for Migueles right here. This is obviously good for any of the players, so we might see this contested because Migueles especially, he has quite a huge number of workers, and even after he's finished this round and spent some of them, transferred some of them to his opponent, he will still have quite a respectable amount, so pretty much every tile here looks kind of lucrative. So let's see what players decide to do. For now, none of the players are actually in any hurry to bet for those tiles, and this is a bit surprising to me. I would have expected them to go harder on that, but I guess they want to just make sure they made everything made every move they wanted to make in advance. So also waiting, like you might also try to like lure your opponent, but to be honest, they are very likely to bet just with greens on both of this, so it doesn't really matter what types of workers are being spent on the buildings, especially considering that both players have enough workers to possibly have any workers of any color in their hands. So it's kind of hard to read the game at this point, so you can just rely on your opponent not having a specific color worker when he has 27 of them in their hand. Same with 17, even at 17 it's kind of hard to predict what their opponent has or doesn't have. Unless you're just very good at counting and just remembering all that stuff. Which you might be. I mean, it's semifinals, so obviously both of the players here are very experienced. So far, unfortunately, not much to talk about, really, and we actually see that the meeple tries to ensure that he has more green workers than his opponent. Which is a smart move, all things considered, because he might be able to just snatch that tile. If he has enough green workers, he might be able to just snatch this tile from his opponent, and obviously that will deprive him of a lot of points. It won't give him much points, but, you know, points your opponent doesn't have in a two-player game is basically the points you have, so still a good play for him. But unfortunately, that also means that we are not getting too exciting no spectator experience, because right now both players are basically doing maintenance on their villages, ensuring that they produce everything they want, they move everything they want, they upgrade everything they want, and all stuff like that. So, nothing too exciting happening right now, unfortunately. Can actually use this time to count the points both players have. I think that is a smart idea. So we have 16 from this, 19, 26. So the meeple currently has 26 points. And nothing else, which is not great for him. So what do we see on the Miguelis side, on the other hand? See, he has 10, 15, 21. 21 plus 16, yeah, 21 plus 16 is 37 points, so Miguelis is most definitely ahead at this point. And I feel like he's only going to be getting further ahead as he moves more and more resources onto this tile. He also has some buildings unupgraded right now. Can actually very easily acquire 5 points by just moving 1 gold here and using it to upgrade. It would be a very smart move on his part, I believe, because gold only gives 1 point anyways, so transferring it into 5 points is a great deal, no matter how you look at it. And we also see that Miguelis has a ridiculous meeple advantage on his opponent. And we also see that, surprisingly enough, this building is getting bet on with yellow workers, which is a little bit strange to me, I guess, but as we can see, Miguelis spent 3 of his yellow workers, so maybe he doesn't have as many, but I do believe with 24 workers he should be able to just beat this bet pretty easily, one way or another. It's right not to lose too much. Yeah. Meeple's position seems rather precarious right now. Let's just say that. Okay. Yeah. So we see the meeple just dropping those 2 meeples there just mostly for the sake of it, to deny his opponent some transportation, because he knows that every time Miguelis uses this building, he's getting just a ridiculous amount of points. Yeah, just play to red his building to just shut him out of it. Unfortunately, he still can play 2 red on this building and get just like a little bit less points, so... Well, he of course now needs to at least have those 2 red, so... we'll see how this goes. This is very, very, like... very strange. Yeah, this is just as I thought. Miguelis just goes for his opponent's building here. Of course, that is a bit of a desperation move, obviously, because he didn't even need that action. He just wanted to deny your opponent that action. And right now, he just has a ridiculous amount of points from this barn right here. Has like, oh, what? It's 10, it's 13, it's 26 points from this barn. It's just insane. It's almost as much as the meeple has in his entire village, so... Let's see how this ends. I feel like Miguelis is winning by a pretty solid margin here. As he just keeps jamming production. And the meeple is running short. He doesn't have many things to play with at this point, so... This game is definitely drawing to a close, and... see what happens. Will the meeple be able to pull out some 6 strats at the end of it? Let's see. Hope so. And just adds 1 meeple to his bet. Oh yeah, and Miguelis just has 3 red meeples he needs. Five, and obviously 6 goes here, and he upgrades, and that's just a billion points for him. Very, very solid. Let me check what the rules say about this. Let me see. Alright, just some rules clarifications, and... So you can see that the meeple is just mostly trying to block Miguelius, but it's just... Don't think it's going to be too relevant at this point. When you have a building that just generates 26 points for you, it's very hard to get an upper hand on you in this situation. Let's see, let's see. Miguelis is just taking a bunch of green workers, and the meeple is just raising his bid on the first player tile. Oops, and no. So it's like just a, yeah, just a brief disconnect, nothing too major. Doing fine here. Yep. It should go in the back for the sake of fairness, because those were supposed to go in the back. Yeah, and the meeple passes because I feel like he doesn't have much to do. Miguelis, I feel like, can safely just pass and end the game here, because he is very far ahead. Wait, what? Yeah, couldn't see 3 of these workers, but Michaelis is just jamming it hard in this first player tile. Oh. That's actually, slight clarification, because that boat is a little bit confusing. Oh, no. Oh my god. This boat is so OP. Like, this boat is ridiculously OP. It just allows you to completely ignore one of the rules of the game, like one of the key rules of the game, which is just ridiculous, really. Okay. I see. Yeah. Cool. Bam. All right. Okay. Just waiting for it to finish. Everybody's getting confused. Come on, guys, come on. All right. Oh, damn it. What is going on? Please just not drop out at the most important moment of the game, where we actually get to count points. All right. Okay. So let's just count this stuff. Yeah, this does look pretty good for McGillis, especially this. Have destroyed the forest. Lorx will be very displeased. Okay, yeah. So Miguelis has nothing to do with his worker, so just removes him, and he's just getting 3 points per wood on this tile. Oh my fucking god! Okay. Yeah, so he got 6 points for this, he got 5 points for the biggest loop in his village. So that's 11 points for these 2 tiles, that's 18, that's 21. 26, 29, 32, 37, I believe. Let me just link something in chat. Oh god, this was quite a performance by McGillis, honestly. It was really impressive. $32 points for Barn. Oh my god. $36 points from Barn. This is actually crazy. Just one stuck over there. Yeah, seems so. Yeah, it's like what? Oh my god. Yeah, this seems right. Yeah, this seems correct. Yeah, he has like 8 points for transportation alone. Very good. It's 18. 20, 23, 26, 29, 34. Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah, like 33, 7, oh my god. 13, 16, 19, 24, 27, 32 plus 5, 37, yeah. Okay, this was a pretty insane. All right, so it's 38 to 81. That is quite the thing. Let me just say. So let me print screen this. 63? No. All of this craziness, like... Oh, 18 next to, yeah, so because he has just a ridiculous number. Yeah, 18 next to, so it's 36 from Barn. So 36 plus starter tile is 5. Plus transportation is another 8. And now all that's left is are buildings in the village. So that's 10, 15, 21, 26 for buildings in the village. So that means 62 plus 8, 70, 78. 78, yeah. All right. Alright. Ooh, and that is gonna be it for today for us. So thank you for showing up to the stream, and I will see you some other time. Maybe today's evening, but I'm probably going to be busy. We'll see. Anyways, see you later, guys.